Efficiency of geothermal power plant. The efficiency of geothermal plant based on the type of plant and the features of geothermal fluid. Yeah, so it depends on the two things, the type of plant and the feature of geothermal fluid. What type of fluid we are using. The efficiency of a power station is evaluated as follows. Net electricity produced upon energy input. In a geothermal power plant, the energy input can be defined as the total mass of the fluid multiplied by average enthalpy as shown below. W into 100 upon m dot. This is m dot. It is the flow rate, not the mass. It is mass flow rate m dot into h, where W is the running capacity, m dot is the total mass flow rate, and h is the reservoir enthalpy. This work provides the high level assessment of the conversion efficiency of geothermal power plant based on available data from the current worldwide experience. So let's come to the another topic, geothermal heat pumps, heating and cooling using geothermal heat pumps. Geothermal heat pumps, also known as the geo-exchange system, are energy efficient, clean and cost effective technologies that are quickly gaining popularity. Geothermal exchange system basically utilizes the earth for both a heat source and a heat sink. That is, it also gives us the heating effect and also gives us the cooling effect. It can also give us the heating effect and can also give us the cooling effect. Geothermal heat pumps uses the heat stored in the ground as a natural renewable source for space heating as well as cooling, and also for water heating in home. High efficiency geothermal systems are on average 40 to 60 more efficient than the conventional gas and the electric furnace. See how much beneficial it is. In addition, geothermal heat pumps burns no fossil fuel. This is the added advantage. No fossil fuels and therefore produce no indoor air pollutants. Residential geothermal system include a heat pump, a ground roof, a ductwork into a building. The size and the cost of a system depends on the energy requirements and the geographical location of a home. How geothermal heat pumps works. A typical system consists of a ground roof system filled with a water solution, a heat exchanger and a ductwork into the building. Ducts are the passages which is used in homes to deliver and remove the air. During the winter, heat from the ground is absorbed by the water solution as it circulates through the pipes in the ground. The warmed air is carried into the home where a water to air heat pump concentrates the thermal energy and transfer it to air in a conventional ductwork system which is circulated to heat the home. In the summertime, this process is reversed and excess heat is pumped from the home either into the ground or redirected to heat domestic hot water in order to cool the home. Yeah, so now this figure demonstrates the same thing which I talked about in the previous slide. What happens in the cooling mode? In the cooling mode, there is a dispersion of heat, and in the heating mode, there is a absorption of heat. This is basically the process how it happens. Supply air, return air, water heater, heat dispersion. Supply air, return air, water heater, heat absorption. In the heating mode, there is absorption of heat. In the cooling mode, there is a dispersion of heat. By the help of which it happens? By the help of duct, which is basically the passages in the home to deliver and remove air, that is to supply air and return air. Now let us see the type of the ground loops. Ground loops are a series of polyethylene pipes buried underground that contain a water ethanol mixture to prevent freezing. There are various types of ground loop that can be used for commercial and residential buildings. Horizontal, vertical and pond lengths are all closed loop system, while a four type of system, is the open loop system. It all depends on the geographical location of your home, that which ground loop will be beneficial for you, or which ground loop can be installed in your home. It all depends on the geographical location of your home. Either your home is situated in a village, either your home is in rural area, either your home is in urban area. So yeah, this all depends on the geographical location of your home, that which ground loop is suitable. Closed system uses a continuous loop where the heat transfer fluid water is continuously circulated. The most common ground loops found in the residential system are horizontal and vertical loops. These are the most common. The geographical location, the climate, the soil, and available land are all the factors which determine the base type of system for the specific home. Larger homes requires more heating or air conditioning, and homes in climate with extreme temperature generally needs larger loops. Open loop system use groundwater from an aquifer. Aquifer basically holds water that is piped directly from the well to a building, where it transfers its heat to a heat pump and then discharges back into the ground. In the next slide, we'll see a video of different types of loops: horizontal, vertical, ponds, lake, which basically give us the overall description of how the ground loop works. So yeah, let's see. Now let us see different types of loop one by one. First is horizontal ground loops. Horizontal ground loops are the most cost effective and the common system for residential homes when enough land is available to lay out a system and the trenches are easy to dig. What does it mean? It means when the enough land is available, then only this type of loop is suitable. It means it is not suitable in the urban areas where there is not much land available to us, but it is suitable in the rural areas, in the villages where land is enough for us. Piping is laid in trenches which ranges from 100 to 400 feet in length. Horizontal loops typically require 100 to 300 feet of trench with 600 to 1200 feet of pipe per ton. Moving ahead, let's move to the vertical ground loops. Vertical ground loops tend to be used in urban areas. Yeah, see, urban areas, because of the restriction of available land for horizontal loops. There is not much land available in the urban areas, so people prefer vertical ground loops there. They are also used if the soil is too shallow or difficult to trench. Drilling equipment is used to bore small diameter holes from 100 to 400 feet deep, 20 feet apart. Pipes placed in these holes are connected at the bottom with a U-bend to form a loop. U-bend. See here. It's demonstrated in the figure also. U-bend. Each vertical pipe is then connected to the horizontal underground pipe that carries the fluid to and from the indoor heat exchange pump. Vertical loops are generally more expensive to install but requires less piping than the horizontal loops because the Earth's temperature is warmer and more stable further below the surface. Vertical loops typically require 150 to 300 feet 6-inch boreholes with 300 to 500 feet of piping per ton. Basically, vertical loops can go as deep as 400 feet, whereas the horizontal loops are of much lesser depth, but it needs open field. See, in the vertical loops, the depth is more, but it doesn't need the open field. But in the horizontal, it's not of much depth, but it needs open field. This is one question based on the previous two slides. What is the average depth of geothermal wells used for heating at homes? Yeah, you can think, but yeah, the answer will be C. Moving ahead, let's move to the ponds, a less common but lower cost alternative closed loop system is a pond or lake system, which is only applicable to the site that has an adequate water body that reaches a minimum volume, depth and quality. Let's assume your home is near a pond or a lake. Then this type of loop is suitable, but it can't be installed in the places where there is no ponds or lakes nearby. So it is area specific. That's why it's not much in use. Basically the horizontal and the vertical loop is the most common, but if your home or your geographical location of your home is near a pond or a lake, then this loop is beneficial. A pipe is run underground from the building to the water and coiled into the circles deep enough under the surface of the water to prevent freezing. Fluid circulates underwater through the pipe in a closed system, just as it does through the vertical and the horizontal ground loop. Since it is a closed system, there are no harmful effects. It is also a closed system like the horizontal and the vertical loops. Open loop system. This type of system uses well or surface body water as the heat exchange fluid that circulates directly through the geothermal heat pump system. Once it has circulated through the system, the water returns to the ground through the well, a recharge well or a surface discharge. This option is practical only with an adequate supply of relatively clean water, and if all the local codes and regulations regarding the groundwater discharge are met. Relatively clean water, which is impossible nowadays. So mostly we use closed loop system in our homes, and closed loop system has many advantages as compared to open loop system. Let us see how the efficiency is measured. Efficiency is calculated based on the coefficient of performance, that is the COP. How does the COP calculated? COP is calculated by dividing how much energy a system produces by the amount of energy you input into the system. Let's for example say the COP value is 4. It means that the addition of 1 unit of energy is needed to have a release of 4 kilowatt of heat at condenser. You understand? Let's say if the COP value is 5, what does it mean? It means that the additional 1 unit of energy is needed to have a release of 5 kilowatt of heat at the condenser. Yeah. About 70% of the energy used by the geothermal heat pump system comes in the form of renewable energy from the ground. High efficiency geothermal engines are on average 48% more efficient than the gas, 75% more efficient than the furnaces, oil furnaces, and 43% more efficient than the cooling mode. Geothermal heat pumps as well as the other type of heat pumps have efficiencies rated according to the coefficient of performance, which I told you already. It's a scientific way of determining how much energy the system produces versus how much it uses. Most geothermal heat pump systems have COPs of 3 to 4.5. It means that for every unit of energy used to power system, 3 to 4.5 units are supplied as heat. Whereas the fossil fuel furnaces may be 78 to 90% efficient, a geothermal heat pump is about 400% efficient. See how much helpful it is. Some geothermal heat pump manufacturers and electric utilizers use computers to accurately determine the operating efficiency of a system for your home or buildings. Yeah, this is basically the graph which will help you to understand it more efficiently. Heating, this is the graph of heating efficiency. This is a graph of cooling efficiency. These are the COP value. What is COP? The coefficient of performance. And this is the EER value. This is the same thing as COP. For cooling efficiency, we term it EER. For heating efficiency, we term it COP. What is EER? EER is energy efficiency ratio. This is the energy efficiency of a cooler performance. This is the energy efficiency of a heating performance. So these are the graphs. For water furnace, this how much COP. For standard geothermal, how much COP. So these are the graphs of different COP values of different appliances like water furnace, high efficiency heat pumps. So you will, after seeing the graph, you will get an overall idea about the COP, EER, how the efficiency is calculated. These are the environmental benefits. Geothermal pump heating system do not burn fossil fuels of heat for heat production. They generate far fewer greenhouse gas emissions than a conventional furnace. They also provide higher air quality because there are no emissions of carbon monoxide. Geothermal heat pump system had an average 20% year life expectancy for the heat pump itself, from 25 to 50 years for the underground infrastructure. So these are the environmental benefits of using a heat pump.